moving on to our next wonderful topic with our next wonderful speaker, I now invite Vidhi Maheshwari ma'am to kindly join us on stage to introduce the next topic of today's wonderful Smart Life, Smart Living Conclave 2025 by ABP Nadu.
ஆச்சி ராயல் குலோப் ஜாமுன் பேக்ஸ் ஒன்று வாங்கினால் ஒன்று இலவசம்.
Everyone, thank you for being a part of ABP Nadu Smart Life, Smart Living Conclave. And in this conclave, the discussion is very clearly about how technology is now seamlessly blending with everyday life. And now when we talk about technology, of course, everybody knows about drones, right? Sky is not the limit anymore. I think it's a new frontier for innovation. And we've got someone very special to talk about innovations that are happening in the sky right now. I'd like to welcome Agnishwar Jayaprakash, the founder and CEO of Garuda Aerospace, a company that's quite literally redefining India's skies, to join us. Thank you so much, Agnishwar, for being a part of this conversation. So now when you're thinking of drones, you're thinking, of course, they're gadgets, they're capturing, they're probably used for videos and capturing videos. But right now, Garuda Aerospace is using drones to not just help farmers, they're helping provide aid during disasters, and in fact, now helping our soldiers on the front line. So please tell us about your journey. How are you feeling right now? Let's start with that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity, ma'am. As well as to this very wonderful organization for putting up an amazing show. எனக்கு ரொம்ப பெருமையாக இருக்கு. ஏன்னா சென்னையில் தான் பிறந்து வளர்ந்து I have grown up, I've been born and brought up in Chennai, and I used to be a swimmer. Doesn't look like that now, but I was a former Asian gold medalist in the sport of swimming for our country. I represented India for 10 years, 4 years as the Indian swimming team captain. And sportsல இருக்கிறதுனால I had a lot of opportunities to travel the world and get a lot of exposure. And இன்னைக்கு நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி, like you mentioned how important technology is, and I think drones is in that cutting edge of how robotics, AI, ML, any form of automation, you're able to see how drones are shaping the world that we live in today. In 2015, when we started Garuda Aerospace, the common misconception was that drones could be used for only videography, photography, in marriages and in events or in cinema. This was a very limited scope. At most, you would see that drones were used in the defense segment for capturing any form of surveillance operations, and that's about it. But what we wanted to do at Garuda Aerospace was to redefine how drones were being perceived, break the common misconception, and equip drones with probes, sensors, magnetometers, high-powered lasers, sprayers, different types of payloads, so that we transformed and transcended drones from mere data capturing tool into a supercomputer on wings. So that was the founding motivation of Garuda Aerospace, and over the last 10 years, Garuda has now evolved into one of the most valuable drone startups in India.
You're a pioneer, and you're now reaching the global scale as well. So you're in conversation with US and Australia, I believe. So how do you see this happening? How do you see it, not just India, but also taking this platform abroad?
Drones are very similar to your software industry and AI, and you can see how that has pretty much expanded into multiple segments and sectors. So I believe that the use cases for drones over the last 10 years has transcended. In the past, inspections that used to be done manually or with archaic machinery are now being done by drones. I'll give you a few examples. When you have to do a chimney inspection, usually any form of structural damage assessment in buildings or chimneys or bridges has to happen periodically, once every 6 months, once every year. Usually when you have to do a chimney inspection, you build a scaffolding around the chimney. We send 5 to 6 people there. The plant is under total shutdown. Manual job, yes. And you will need to take readings out of each of these different points within the chimneys. It takes 5 days. It used to cost 10 to 15 lakhs. Today, a drone equipped with a probe without any planned shutdown is able to do the same work in 3 hours at 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So that is the innovation and the revolution of automation and bots in manual inspection processes. Similarly, in agriculture,
Yeah.
there used to be manual laborers carrying a backpack sprayer to spray pesticides and fertilizers on fields, which is essential. In India, there is 25 crore acres of farmable land that requires pesticide spraying and fertilizer spraying 8 times in a year, which means in India you need to spray 200 crore acres. How is it getting sprayed? It used to be done by the backpack sprayers, which was very ineffective because a person has to carry a 50-kilo backpack and walk by the fields and spray. When you're not looking, they don't spray.
Not the most efficient ways.
Not the most effective or the efficient way. But now drones are able to do the spraying much faster. They're able to cover 15 to 20 acres a day when a human being with a backpack is able to cover maybe 2 to 3 acres per day. So in a time sensitive service like these inspections or spraying or any form of structural damage assessment, oil pipeline inspection, mining operations to find out pilferages, drones are now today used for stringing and power line inspection, connecting high tension electricity wires from one pole to the other. So the use cases are not just, oh, can I use the drone to deliver pizza? No, it's drones can be used for so many things, and we have pioneered building not just pilot projects but actual sustainable use cases and case studies of clients who are consistently paying us. Now, Garuda has served over 400 clients. Adani, Reliance, Godrej, Vedanta, Cipla, Tata, in the private sector, in the government sector, Steel Authority of India, NTPC, Survey of India, where we have mapped over 7,000 villages under the Swamitwa scheme, Odisha Mining Corporation for mining activities, NDRF, Indian Army, DRDO, ISRO, all of them are our clients. So the reason is because we never stopped at, okay, drones can be used only for this.
Yeah.
We wanted to explore how drones can be used for multiple different use cases, and that is where we
But this is what I want to understand. Of course, you spoke about your experience, you've traveled the world, but how did this idea come to you? Because, I mean, our thoughts process is limited to thinking of drones providing a particular service. How did your journey begin? And especially from an athlete to doing this, and like you said, not just piloting some ideas, actually using these for various services.
I actually had I had produced and directed a television show. So it was just very nice to hear Khushbu ma'am talking about jackpot. But I had produced and directed a television show called as Eram Arivu, which is 7 Sense. Essentially what that show was is for, today you are seeing Shark Tank. So back in the day, it was in 2015 to 17, we came up with a program for students and young people to come up with ideas, and they would it's an innovation ecosystem sort of a show. And in that show, much like other singing shows and dancing shows, we wanted to do something innovative. The other shows had chocolate showers that used to be dropped on the contestants. We wanted to have drones to drop chocolates on the best performer of the show. So that's how we gone, we went about trying to find ways and means to have a drone that can carry payload, because usually drones were equipped only with capabilities of a camera that could take shots.
A limited payload.
Limited payloads. So that's how it started, and Garuda was basically conceptualized on the sets of this television show. But I also had the use cases that we were talking about and how to, the journey that has evolved Garuda into where it is today is because of my experience at the UN, experience at Harvard, where I was able to understand that through a lot of case studies and impact reports, how drones and automation and robotics had the disruptive potential of disrupting multi-billion-dollar segments across the world. And we felt that drones were being used, it's like using your phones just to do a call.
Yeah.
And today you're able
Not
to...
using your technology that's
Exactly.
easily available.
It's available in the palm of your hands, and if you're using it just to pick up and speak and not do any other thing with your phone, that was what I thought that was happening with drones, that you're just using it to collect data. You're not using the ability to make the drone smarter, to understand patterns, to understand how to analyze data and provide data in a refined manner that could increase efficiency and reduce expenses for clients. So that was the founding motivation of Garuda Aerospace, and consistently we grew.
It is such a fantastic story. You're 35 years old. You've used all your experience well, and you've come up with this. We've got students in our audience, and everybody is going to be watching this on ABP Nadu as well. This is quite enterprising for them to understand that think beyond what is around you. Think beyond, and technology is ever changing. Now, I was also reading that MS Dhoni is the brand ambassador, and now he's also an official drone pilot. Like, he got the full training done. How did that go?
Well, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, or fondly as we call him as Mahi Bhai, is also an amazing sports person and an icon. But more importantly, for our business, he is an epitome of a rural youth success story. He transcends the language barrier. Most of the times when you look at a brand ambassador or an investor or someone who you would want to kind of take your brand to the next level, you would there's no wrong choices. Like, some people choose actors, but many times they are very regional in nature. They're good at a particular target segment and amongst a particular audience, but not where we needed someone who transcends the language barrier, transcends, like, regardless of whether you're in rural India or in, a metro city, everyone knows who Mahendra Singh Dhoni is. So it was very fortunate for us that he chose to be not just a brand ambassador, but also an investor, because he really likes his automations, the bikes, the robotics. He loves those things. And when we gave him the idea that he could be associated with us, he was very happy. But the funny story about how he wanted to be a drone pilot is because he has a farm, and he loves his bikes, and a lot of his free time he utilizes it to tinker with a lot of stuff. So he really felt that, why can't I be a drone pilot and be equipped with these skills? And that's how it came about. And Garuda is the first ever drone company that has the authorization for both manufacturing as well as training. So we can manufacture drones all the way from 250 grams to 250 kilograms. But more importantly, we can also train students to become drone pilots. And we have actually trained over 2,500.
Which is a whole new career for them.
Absolutely. 2,500 pilots. And unlike other jobs which are 9 to 5, drone pilots can operate. It's like a gig economy model. Whenever there is a requirement, when there is a need, when there's a project, they can go out and get the job done, get paid, and then come back. So that's one of the reasons why, a lot of profiles that we are seeing are Swiggy delivery boys or Uber drivers, moving into like this and equipping themselves with another range of skill, which is ability to fly drones.
So now you've seen a use case where this is helping industries and factories. But when we're talking about smart life, smart living, we're also talking from a consumer point of view and how technology can just become a part of our everyday modern life. So how do you see drones becoming a part of that? Like you said, pizza deliveries, which is happening in the West anyway.
Yes.
So what else do you see? How do you
I
see
think
it?
medicine delivery is going to be a very huge use case. With traffics getting congested in the cities, everyone will know that that is a use case. But if I ask people in the audience, would you know the number one cause of death in rural India, in the villages? Ma'am? It's not what you would usually think. It's snake bites.
Oh.
The reason why people die in the villages, a lot of them, especially farmers, is because the time that it takes from post a snake bite to reach to a primary healthcare center.
And get the anti-venom or the medicine.
Yes, it's very, very difficult. And by the time they get there, or, transportation over there, the bus comes to their villages once in 2-3 days. So it's very difficult to get to the place. And I believe that medicines or life-saving, any form of revival tools and equipments, and vaccines, dials, any form of medicines for emergency cases is going to be a huge requirement in both urban cities as well as in rural India. But I believe that drones, from a smart living perspective, is a tool and is a life skill that you can have in order to generate more money. And I believe that it can become a source of employment, even as part of a gig economy model for a lot of youngsters today.
Yeah, I think the audience right now might just have a thought about it, might just think about it when they
Absolutely,
go home.
ma'am. Like, how many of us are going to get placed in the same old the TCS, the Wipro, the Cognizants and such, or the Googles. As AI is rampantly disrupting the space, you are able to see a lot of job cuts. And I believe that you need to be an all-rounder. You need to have multiple skills. You can't just be a coder. I believe that if you have a range of skills, you will be able to survive with or without a formal employment. There are a lot of gig economy jobs that are out there, and more skilled, the higher paying it is. So
And
I
yeah,
believe
one
that.
has to evolve with the technology that is available, also be open to the possibilities of what is possible in future. And it's not limited to just AI. You have to also know about
Absolutely.
machines.
If you take a look at how drones are evolving, I believe that very shortly you will see in every sector, be it mining, oil and gas, energy, agriculture, defense, you are seeing drones play a vital role. And I believe that in the next couple of years, it will be in a space where the ecosystem will evolve to a degree where you will need to have a lot of subject matter and domain experts, and that is an opportunity for the young generation of today.
And I also recently read that Garuda Aerospace was actually involved in providing aid during a flood situation in Telangana. So, what happened? How did that go? And how did it feel to see actually using technology that's saving lives?
We have always had that as part of our DNA, even in the Chennai floods that happened in 2015. That was when Garuda was, in fact, incepted, helping people at crucial times, especially during moments of crisis, through technology is something which is very close to our heart. And be it in 2020-21 during the COVID crisis, we in fact helped ISRO scientists with drones in carrying food and vegetables and medicines from their quarters to other places where they were quarantined. A lot of work that was done during COVID for transportation of medicines and vaccines. A lot of work was done in 2021-22 for the Uttarakhand deluge disaster that happened. Anytime there are areas of disasters or like times of disaster, be it floods or landslides or earthquakes, we have always seen that drones are a very effective and a quick way to respond. And also when there are help and relief that are being sent, usually they don't have a backup, or they don't know if there is another swell of a flood coming in or another landslide that are coming in when you're helping people. We've helped out especially during in mining places where the mines cave, and you'll have to send a very micro drone that is the size of your palm inside those tunnels to check for survivors and to perhaps find out where they are, so that rescue efforts can be more streamlined. So that's where I believe that first is the will to help during those times. Second is how resourceful you are in analyzing those situations, and the experience that we have gained is helping us to prepare better for the future.
So, how many years has it been? And while we're discussing success stories right now, I'm sure there were challenges that you faced in the way. Okay, let's talk about those as well, because
We'll go on for like a couple of days if I have to talk about challenges, because as a startup founder and an entrepreneur, that is part and parcel. It's as common as you taking a breath. Every single hour, if you don't have problems, it means that you're not doing a good job and you're not pushing yourself beyond the comfort zone. And only when you do that, and when you try to reach for greater things, and when you want your business to be more profitable, more sustainable, you want to grow faster, and all of these things come with its own set of challenges. It's always an inertia, it's always a resistance within from the leadership or from the team's perspective to change. It is always hard to convince new sets of customers when you're coming up with new products. And it's very, very difficult to raise funds. It's very difficult to sustain growth. So challenges are a part of everyday life. We have to embrace them, try to look at them more as learning experiences, and look at the more challenges that you face, the more prepared you are for further challenges that come up.
Absolutely.
So I believe that we look at challenges and obstacles as great opportunities, and every single time such challenges comes up, we look forward to it with a smile.
of course, because the solution is going to open whole new doors. So, if there's a proudest moment that you'd want to talk about, proudest moment till date?
I think, I have always felt that when the Honorable Prime Minister had launched 100 of our drones in 100 locations in 2022 for the first ever Kisan Drone Yatra. That was one of the most proudest moments because that opened up the floodgates for the entire industry. It is not just for us as in being one company, being a benefactor. I felt that it is a very proud moment because it was that day that led to a scheme called as Namo Drone Didi, which enables 15,000 women, rural self-help groups and women rural entrepreneurs to have access to technology, where they are subjugated. And when we keep talking about how women are not encouraged as much, not just in urban India, but definitely in rural India, now you have a scheme where drones, not tractors, not other irrigation equipments that have been around for 20, 30 years, drones that have just been around for 2.5, 3 years are now in the hands of women who are going to take this drone revolution to the next level. So I feel that, the proud moment is that during that sequence of events has led to something so monumental. And I believe that I think we can take a little bit of credit from that sequence because we felt that Garuda has been that forefront market leader, as having established market dominance in this space. We feel very happy and proud that the nation is now adopting drones in so many different sectors, and it's nice to see.
And to see it flourishing, that's the vision, right? In the country. This has been a very insightful conversation. If you do not know about this, if you haven't read about Garuda, please go online and read up about Garuda Aerospace and the kind of work that's done, the training that's being offered to students, the kind of ideas it will open for everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Vidhi ma'am, for sharing this wonderful session, and thank you so much, sir, for sharing the insights as well. Now I invite our Regional Sales Head Digital South, Vidya ma'am, to please come on the stage to felicitate Agnishwar Jayaprakash, founder and CEO of Garuda Aerospace. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I request you all to please take your seats.
ஆச்சி ராயல் குலோப் ஜாமுன் பேக்ஸ் ஒன்று வாங்கினால் ஒன்று இலவசம்.